Before I get into the main content of my TEDx talk, I want to share a small story from my life back in the Philippines. Before I came to Batam, Indonesia, I used to live in a place called Subic Bay, Philippines. And there, I used to live in a very peculiar house. It was a 23-story apartment building located in the middle of a mountain. A massive concrete structure located in the middle of nowhere, with only a single road connecting it to the main hub in the city. Now, this house caused us some serious problems, mainly because there was only a single power line connecting our apartment to the power grid, which is located in the center of the city. Every year, a few typhoons would arrive, and those typhoons would unfortunately knock down a few trees, which would in turn knock down our power line and cause us to lose power for sometimes days to sometimes even weeks. Of course, this was absolutely terrible for us, and I have no idea how the management approved of this location, but there was one thing great about my house. It was the view. Every morning and every near the evening, I could look out my room window and see this beautiful sunrises and sunsets, filled with the vibrant shades of red, orange, and yellow. But seeing this view for so long got me thinking, why does the sky change color? Well, it turns out it was because of a phenomenon called light refraction. Light has the ability to bend. But then that got me thinking again, why do light bend? And that was because of a phenomenon called wavefronts. But then that got me thinking again, why are wavefronts caused? Why does light have a name called photon and is considered a particle, while sound isn't? These questions kept burning more follow-up questions, and even until to this day, I don't have the definitive answer to all of the questions I've raised thanks to one simple question, why is the sky blue? Hearing this, you might think, David, wasn't that a waste of your time? You asked these many questions, but none of them are technically answered. Well, that is true. These questions weren't very effective at answering my queries, but I still want to emphasize the importance of asking questions for yourself and for the world. Let's start from a more personal point of view, shall we? Asking questions allow you to develop as an individual. Every time you make a decision, whether that be very simple and mundane ones, such as, am I going to get Pringles or Lay's in the supermarket? Or life-changing and important ones, such as, where should I go from a university? What major should I pick? And what job should I get and where should I get it? These questions all come down to a crossroads which diverges into two paths. The first path is the simple path, where you go down whatever idea you have on the top of your head, what you think is simple and easy. The second path requires a bit more questioning, though. You have to ask yourself what you truly like and what you would like to do for the rest of your life. But this other path is definitely filled with obstacles. You're going to have to clear them out with quite the effort. But I still want to tell you why it's important to go down that path instead of the easy-looking one. Until I was 10th grade, I was almost certain that my university major is going to be physics or biochemistry. I thought to myself, I'm pretty good at these, and I think I like them, so I guess I'll go down this path. But when I arrived in 11th grade, I asked myself this fundamental and pivotal question. Would I enjoy doing physics or biochemistry for the rest of my life? Turns out, not really, unfortunately. And the reason why I chose those two majors was not because I really enjoyed it, but because they were the only things I knew. I didn't dig deep. I just chose something I knew, and I thought I'd be good with it. So I decided to dig a little deeper. I asked myself, what do I really like? It turns out it was computers. I really enjoyed developing programs and playing video games. So going down that path, I found a major of computer science. This was an absolute gold mine for me. I could both entertain and help people around the world while doing something I genuinely enjoyed. If I hadn't asked myself the question, would I enjoy doing this for the rest of my life? I would have never found this major and would have still been doing physics or biochemistry, which wouldn't have been as nearly as enjoyable. So I urge you to ask the same question as well. Now let's talk in a more global point of view. Those who ask questions solve problems. I want to present to you two famous individuals, Thomas Edison and Alexander Fleming. Thomas Edison is well known for his development of the light bulb, or more specifically, a cost-effective and long-lasting filament for a light bulb. Alexander Fleming is famous for developing the penicillin, a common antibiotic that we still use to this day to take care of simple bacterial infections. But did you know that Thomas Edison had to try nearly 1,000 times before he stumbled across his perfect formula? Well, Alexander Fleming found penicillin by accident. Alexander Fleming left his lab without cleaning his petri dishes, and when he came back, he realized that his mistake caused the petri dishes to develop fungal colonies. But instead of washing it down and blaming himself for not acting like a professional, he decided to take a little bit of a closer look at that fungal colony. And looking at it, he realized that the fungal colony was killing off the nearby bacterial colonies with some unknown chemical. Studying this chemical, he realized that this fungi was able to produce a chemical that killed bacteria, and that chemical now is known as penicillin. Let us stop for a moment and think what would have happened if Thomas Edison gave up his search for his filament in his 500th trial, or if Alexander Fleming just decided to ignore that petri dish and wash it down the drain. He will still be living in the dark during the night, and the infections that we can cure now with a poppable pill would kill us instantly. These two individuals solved the greatest problems of their era thanks to questioning things and paying attention to the small details of their lives. I believe that we can do the same. Our world is ridden with problems, from small ones to big ones. Our community may not be recycling plastic properly, or we can consider the absolutely massive problems of climate change that is driving our planet to extinction, and political unrest, which is currently causing diverse types of conflicts all across the world. Of course, we're not that influential yet, so we can't just go out and say, I'm going to change the world today. We can't do that, unfortunately. But what we can do is pay attention to the small details of our lives and ask our questions. Why is it here? What can I do to improve it? And what is my role in improving it? Asking these small questions, we can make small changes. And us combined, when all of us do the same thing and solve our small questions, we can finally solve the big questions of our lives. So I want to challenge you. When you leave this room, audience, and for those who are looking at this through YouTube or TED, I want you to live your life. But pay attention to the small details of our lives and ask yourself the question that I just mentioned. Ask your whys. Who knows? Doing this, you might have your own eureka moments. Until we meet again, I hope that you will all be the next Alexander Flemings and the Thomas Edisons, pushing the world forward with your questions and becoming the new leaders of global innovation. Until then, my name has been David Lee, and thank you and have a questionable day.